Good morning and welcome to today's Dutch oven cooking recipe. So today's slightly different. We're going to do a Vetkoek mix, but actually we're only going to divide half the Vetkoek mix and cook traditional Vetkoek with it. The other half we're going to do as a Roesterkoek, a baked Roesterkoek in the Dutch oven. So that's why we have the gas here today and the Dutch oven. The Vetkoek will be deep fried on the gas and the Roesterkoek will be baked in the Dutch oven. We permanently have a problem with keeping fresh rolls and fresh bread for camping, and hopefully today's video serves to solve that. This is by no means a professional video, and I have never cooked Vetkoek or Roesterkoek before. So whatever happens here today will be the first time. So for all the foodies out there, just give me a break. Cool, we'll check in with you just now. So the Vetkoek mix is we're going to use the Eureka Mills from the shop. It's an easy home mix. You could mix all the ingredients together. I'm sure there are many recipes on the internet, but for today we're just going to use a pre-mix because it's not about the mixing of the ingredients, it's actually about the end product and how easier it will be for us to make bread while we're camping. So there is the information that we need. Let's get going. And the yeast is in the packet with the flour. We're mixing the yeast in, which will be activated by the lukewarm water, which we'll put in a minute. So we're just going to get that thoroughly mixed in with the dry ingredients. Now we're going to put half of the lukewarm water in. And we're going to start mixing. Welcome back, folks. We've got to the point that we are able to knead the dough. Remember to keep a bit extra flour just to keep your hands not sticky and just to add back to the dough if it's a little bit wet. There is a cheat code to this, and that is you can mix all the ingredients in a Ziploc bag and leave it overnight, and it actually, the yeast then does its job and there's a lot less PT involved. So the recipe says knead the dough until soft and smooth. So I'll call you back just now once we're soft and smooth. Okay, so we're almost done kneading it. And again, what I've learned here is through my wife, through YouTube and the like. This is the first time properly doing it from scratch. And allegedly, if we stick our finger in and it doesn't stick, and it bounces back, we should be ready. So I think we're ready. We're going to transfer it to a bowl and cover it for 30 minutes to let it double in size or rise. Okay, so we're just going to transfer it to a lightly greased bowl. And we're going to cover it with a damp cloth for 30 minutes. Okay, so we've left it for 30 minutes to proof, and we can see it's proofed very nicely. So what we're going to do now, and this is where the recipe will slightly depart from the traditional Roesterkoek recipe, because we won't be braaiing the Roesterkoek, we will be baking it in the Dutch oven. We started to prepare the fires and the oil, and we'll come back to that in a moment. But for now, we're going to let this out. Let's just get some flour down. Always put flour out, put it on your hands. It just helps the recipe from sticking to your hands. Look at that, absolutely beautiful. Nothing left in the bowl. Tells us it's working. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to press it down, and we're going to divide it into 10 or 12 equal rolls. Okay, so we're going to divide it into about 6 equal rolls before we let it rise again. So I've taken half of the recipe, and we're just going to divide it out. Okay, there's our first 5 done. We will come back just now when we're ready to start cooking. Our fire is preparing for our Dutch oven, and our oil is preparing for the Vetkoek. We'll be back in a minute. Okay, so as you can see, we've got 12 rolls that have come out. We're going to let these rest for another 30 minutes, and then we'll start the cooking process. Okay, so we have prepared the fires and the oil. We soon will start cooking the Vetkoek and the Roesterkoek or baked rolls in the Dutch oven. So let's see how it goes. The Dutch oven is again prepared to reach 180 degrees internal temperature with 7 or 8 coals underneath, about 12, 13 coals on top, more or less in that ratio, and it's been preheating for about 20 minutes now. So we've preheated the oven. We're going to very carefully take off the lid. We can see it's nice and hot in there. We're going to get our parchment paper, our baking paper. I'm going to add our baking paper in without burning ourselves. Okay, and we're going to get our squares and we're going to add them in. Okay, and we're going to lightly brush the top with some butter just to add a tiny bit extra crispiness to the recipe. Of course, you can just fry these as they are on hot coals, but I like the Dutch oven cooking, and it allows me to do something else while these are baking in the oven. We're going to start cooking our Vetkoek. It's doubled in size, and our oil is nice and hot, and they reckon about 3 minutes per side until it's golden brown. So we're going to give this a shot. Just gently put it in the oil without burning yourself, because it is very hot. And let's give it about 3 minutes per side. In the meantime, while we're waiting for the Vetkoek to cook, let's have a look what's happening in here. Oh wow, those rolls are coming very nicely together. Let's see how they go. I'm going to take a little bit of heat off the top and then see how they go from there. Okay, so we've had the Vetkoek on for about 6 minutes now. We're going to transfer them into the finished bowl. Moved from dough to finished product. It looks amazing. Let's cut it open and see the finished product inside. It's ready for some margarine. So we're going to check on the progress of our baked Roesterkoek rolls, and they are looking absolutely divine. We can do a poke test just to check if they are. So we'll just poke a hole in, and they're all coming out nice and clean. Let's have a look at the bottom of them. Beautifully golden brown. I believe that these bread rolls are ready for eating. And I've cut one open and they're looking absolutely delicious inside. Okay, so we are nearly ready to go to eat here. We've paired our Roesterkoek rolls and Vetkoek rolls with some mince and cheese and some bacon, scrambled egg and cheese. We will see how it tastes in a minute. So we got the family here as the taste testers, and we're going to see how everything tastes like. So do the rolls look good?
Yeah, good.
Excellent. Well, let's try some. We'll report back in a minute. So guys, how does it all taste?
Fantastic.
Did both rolls come out okay?
Very nice. Very nice.
Excellent. So do we have a camping approved recipe for either Vetkoek or baked Roesterkoek? Excellent. Everybody's eating too much to comment. Excellent. Good to know.
Very nice.
Fantastic. And that's all from us, folks. We'll see you next time.